Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sex is a topic that grabs people's attention so quickly. I remember when I was in high school, there was a song, Let's Talk About Sex, and it climbed the charts so quickly, probably quicker than any other song. And I remember flipping through a book in one of these bookshops and going through the table of content, and it was some book about American Buddhism, and there was a chapter on sex in Buddhism. And so I turned to it to see what she would say. And her first line was, "Everyone who picks up this book turns to this page first." And I burst out laughing. And then she goes on to say what any person in spirituality would say about sex. But it's so intriguing how it catches our attention so quickly. And if we think about the world today, it's used by marketing, whether they selling toothpaste or they're selling shoes, what they actually selling us is sex. And this is one of the reasons you'll find that it's such an incredible preoccupation for so many people. When we think about how often we think about this subject, it will vary from person to person, and the intensity will vary from person to person. But a large part of our preoccupation or distraction or daydreaming or fantasizing will fall under some kind of idea of finding this romantic union or just the physical urge. The scriptures help to explain that when we have any kind of thoughts, it takes up a certain amount of energy. Even if we consumed with anger, it takes up energy. Fear, stress, anxiety definitely makes us so tired because it takes up energy. And even this constant thinking of sex and the act of it takes up an immense amount of energy. And so if you're just thinking about it from a conservation point of view, we have only a limited amount of energy, each one of us. We have a limited amount of time and the resources within ourselves of where we can focus our energy. If we can reduce the distraction, we conserve that much more energy. The particular action physically takes up a lot of energy, but also mentally takes up a lot of energy. And the thinking about it too mentally takes up a lot of energy. And so here the idea is for us to realize that even though it's so perfectly normal to pursue pleasure, to be intrigued and fascinated by pleasure, that it serves a place in the bigger picture of things. It serves a place definitely in procreation, and even in creating intimacy in a relationship. Sometimes it serves a purpose of creating self-confidence and fulfillment. And not to take away from the purpose that it does serve, but not to give it more importance than what it has. Because it's a fleeting act. No matter how much preparation or indulgence, the act itself is fleeting. And to give it more importance than what it is and what it accomplishes is something we've fallen into, maybe because we see it marketed so well. Most people build it up to be something far bigger and far better than what it is. When we understand it serves a purpose, when we understand it has its place, and we keep it in that place, we live a far more balanced and healthier life. If we get distracted with it, and if we allow it to preoccupy us, there's just no end, whether it be the act of sex or whether it be any kind of other indulgence in pleasure. So even with indulgence in food or indulgence in possessing so many pairs of shoes, or the indulgence of hairstyles and massages and cosmetics. Whenever we indulge in a pleasure, the indulgence simply leads to more indulgence. The example given to us in scriptures is like pouring ghee into a fire. It's not that we accomplish or achieve the act and we enjoy it and it's done. The minute we enjoy it, in that moment itself, the thirst gets created to enjoy it again. In the Bhagavatam, there's this interesting story of King Yayatsu. He got married to a very beautiful princess and lived with her in indulgence for many, many, many years. Not only did he have his queen that he lived a very indulgent life with, he also had a mistress and indulged there as well. And with both the queen and the mistress, this went on for many, many, many years until the queen found out about the mistress and put a stop to it. But then gives in to her husband, Yayatsu, out of love or compassion or loneliness or whatever the reason, and their relationship continues. In this whole process, he ends up getting cursed and he is aged many, many, many years. And so this aged body cannot any longer enjoy or perform to enjoy. And so he begs and pleads with the Lord to be given a younger body once again. And so he's granted his wish if a younger person gave up their body and took his old body, they would give him the younger person's body. This king goes to his sons. He had 3. The first 2, of course, completely did not entertain the request at all, especially since with the younger body he would be indulging with their mother. But the younger son, out of a sense of duty or love, compassion, empathy, gives his father his body and takes his father's old body. To think how much a person would want to indulge, to even take their son's youth. And then he lives that whole life from this young body till that body gets old. And he realizes when that body gets old, he still wants more. He's not ready to let it go. That's when it dawns on him that there's never going to be an end. He lived his whole youth, he lived his son's whole youth, and the desire still continues. And that's the thing about indulging. It doesn't know where to stop. It's just a downward spiral. And so even though everything has a place, sometimes we need a little pampering, maybe. Sometimes we need a little bit of rest and recuperation, definitely. And sex definitely needed for procreation, for healthy relationships. But when we give it more importance, and when we give it a priority in terms of what we think about, we going into that downward spiral of where's it going to end? When is it going to be enough? With pleasure seeking, enough is when we say it's enough. And so keeping that sense of everything has a place and let it stay in its place. Everything has importance. Give it only that much importance. Don't give it less, because that would be dangerous. And definitely don't give it more, because that is definitely dangerous. Think about it.
For more information on Chinmaya Mission, visit our website, chinmayamission.com. For all the young adults out there, to know about our upcoming activities at the nearest Chinmaya Mission Center, visit us at chinmayayuvakendra.org. And for all our parents and teachers listening, please visit chinmayakids.org for an interactive experience of spirituality on a digital platform. Spellings of the website are provided in the description field of the podcast.